What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Scarlet N Great podcast for you audio listeners. For everybody else here on YouTube, welcome to Ohio State Football with Scarlet N Great. Today, we are going to dive into JT Tuimolau's canceling of his visit to Alabama. And is this the last domino to fall to make the nation's #1 recruit an Ohio State Buckeye for good? All right, guys, if you're a Buckeye nut, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We have over 1,500 subscribers now. We built this channel really well, really quickly with the help of Chat Sports and other people and Buckeye fans like yourself. Let's climb and get to that 2,000 viewer or subscription hurdle. And also, we have some giveaways to do for you guys that have helped us get to the milestones we've set in the past. All right, let's get right into it. JTT. We all knew that in the back of our minds that Washington and USC weren't real threats. I don't know how USC doesn't recruit better than they do. You're telling me I put Beverly Hills in your backyard, you can't get nation's top talent, right? I put you in LA, you can't get the nation's top talent. That's crazy to me, right? Anyways, we thought Washington, no, they've been botching in-state recruiting for a while. And I've heard from a good source that they've upset some people. They haven't looked at local kids till late, that kind of thing. He's not going to Washington. He's too good for that. Oregon, maybe. They're a decent football program. They have Nike there, name, image, and likeness with Nike nearby. Okay, maybe that can ruffle some feathers for Buckeye fans. But we all thought the monster in the room, right, was Bama. That's fair. That's fair to think Bama gets the last say right before the commitment date. That made me uneasy. We did a video about that. Who's he going to pick? Ryan Day and Larry Johnson or Nick Saban? Well, this very, very fortunate event happens where he just cancels the Alabama visit. And you have to think, let's lay all this out and why that's so important. Because other than us thinking Bama was a strong second place, maybe even tied for first with Ohio State, we believed all along that Ohio State was the first love, but that with COVID and other things, he couldn't visit. I know it's a long ways from home, but it's his first love. He's got Larry Johnson there, who's infinitely better, I think, than anything Oregon's going to offer him in defensive line play, although they've had some good defensive linemen. And then furthermore, you have G. Scott Jr., who went to his high school, was a teammate of his. You have Emeka Egbuka from out in Washington on the football team already. So Ohio State kills it with the parents. The shout out to the parent association that just absolutely helps in recruiting a lot, puts a national stamp on this recruiting for the Buckeyes to show like, hey, these kids are taken care of. The parents association is strong. We're tight knit. Doesn't matter if you're thousands of miles away. Buckeyes, Ohio State is your second home. Gotten big time recruits from out west. Jack Miller, C.J. Stroud, again the wide receivers we mentioned. So we have Ohio State as the first love. Okay, he comes, visits the Buckeyes. You see the Polynesian love. You see the Tommy Bahama shirts and all that, right? Okay, so everybody says the Buckeye that went over really well. A little worried about that, but that went over really well. The visit went great. He goes to Oregon, has a good enough visit there. And then I'm not going to Bama, guys. I'm not even taking the trip. So with Ohio State being the first love, and you think Oregon's got to be third, a respectable third in this race, you have to think that this is all but a done deal for the Buckeyes, right? Before we call it over, I will say this is how I saw an Oregon fan spin it. And I must say, it's not just being a crazy homer. Their take was he came and visited us, and he was supposed to go see Nick Saban, the GOAT, afterwards, and he canceled, meaning he's coming here, right? He saw another school he really liked. He came here. He was supposed to go to one more school. He canceled that, says done. I will say, if he canceled his visits after visiting Ohio State, I'd be saying the same thing. I would say he's a Buckeye, right? However, with him doing this with Oregon, I just have to think how off of this visit, unless he just felt so far away from home, which I don't know how he could when he was at Ohio State on campus with his family right there with him. Unless he just got some overwhelming feeling like June in Ohio wasn't that nice, which I think it has been. All right, I'm here in Northern Ohio. It's been really nice. I just can't help but think that he loved it. And I don't think Oregon is there yet. That they can be the type of school that Ohio State is led for a kid. He visits Ohio State, he visits Oregon, and then bam, he's over the top. He wants to be a Duck. I don't think they're there yet. We've seen Georgia do that. We've seen Bama kind of do that. Clemson. Schools on that level can do that to a school like Ohio State. Oregon's decent. They're respectable. They're closer geographically. I get it. They're going to find out in a couple months they're not elite, but they are a good football team, a good little program. But JTT is going to Oregon would suggest that Oregon is on that level, that they can just leapfrog Ohio State, who's always been the first love, and he just got off a great visit from. I don't think they're there yet. So what do you guys think? Do me a favor. Comment below, Buck or Duck. We'll pin the comment to the page. What do you be? You can put Buck or Duck, Buckeye or Duck. What's he going to be, a Buck or a Duck? I'm going to go ahead and say I think this canceling of the visit to Bama, that's the last domino to fall in favor of the Buckeyes. And I will say, to give a shout out to Buckeye Scoop, Nevada Buck said on his show with Kirk Barton that he had a source inside the program at Oregon that said he did not feel good about JT's visit when it was over. I find that odd for a couple reasons. What coach says that? Like, wouldn't it have to be really bad? JT's comments himself didn't suggest it was that bad. Of course, he was a nice kid, but he said they beat his expectations. So, and given Nevada Buck's track record recently, I could see how you would say that doesn't mean anything. Shoot, now I think he's going to Oregon. But historically, he's been somewhat connected and had some good information. So I'll let you guys be the judge of that. But it is kind of odd to think a coach on a program that really wants a kid leaks out to somebody else who's kind of media affiliated with the other school. They didn't feel good about it. If you say that's hard to believe, I wouldn't fight you on that. But hey, that's the information. You do what you want with it. I'm going to go ahead once again, guys, and say Oregon is not there yet to be able to supplant a school like Ohio State. Also, big piece of information. Jack Sawyer, from what I understand, was number 33, who's also, that's JT's number. I guess in practice, he's been spotted recently to have switched numbers already to give that to JT. Listen, that could be as simple as switching for another reason. This is just what your practice jersey is. I've always wanted to try number 40 because my uncle or whatever used to have that number, even though I was 33. There's a lot of other reasons. But you couple that with him canceling the visit, with all sources saying Ohio State visit went great, I got to think that the next terrifying tandem in the Rushman package has got to be JT Tuimoloau and Jack Sawyer. I think it's pretty much a done deal. JTT to the Buckeyes. Hope I'm right. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for joining us, guys. As always, goodbye. God bless, and go Bucks.